Please look at the Rambam. We have Sefer Mishpatim, Shoftim. Look at Sefer Mishpatim all the way to the back of Chut Nachalot. Look at the Rambam, Sefer Mishpatim. We read in the parasha, Yaakov is trying to buy from Esav, the Bechorah. Good morning, Chodesh Tov. Because of his Chodesh, he was starting late. Look at Rambam Sefer Mishpatim, Hilchot Nachalot. If you look in Sefer Mishpatim, you should say Mishpatim. The last topic of Mishpatim is Hilchot Nachalot. Hilchot Nachalot is the halachot of inheritance. It's fascinating to see. The Rambam begins as follows. Okay, the beginning is simple, but let's see some fascinating facts. Seder Nachalot kachu. מי שמת יירשו בניו are the male children, והם קודמים לכל. So children are before a grandfather, children are before brothers, והזכרים, the male, קודמים לנקבות. If you have sons and daughters, so according to Din Torah, the sons are first. בכל מקום, אין לנקבה עם הזכר ירושה. Listen carefully now. If the man has only daughters, they are instead of the sons. If there are neither sons or daughters, then it goes to his father. There's no father, then the brothers. Now, when we say he doesn't have any children, his children or grandchildren or etc.
So it could be grandchildren. He has grandchildren.
No, grandchildren is not
the
children.
son's passed away. Yes.
Let's say he has a son and the son died, but he left a daughter. The daughter is like the son. So that could be when there's a female.
Yeah, they inherit.
She is the daughter of the son. So if the son is before his sisters, his daughter is replacing her father. Jump now to Halakha Zayin. Halakha Zayin, something very interesting. כל הקרובים בעבירה, Eli, we are looking at Rambam Hilchot Nachalot, Sefer Mishpatim.
Good morning.
Good morning. The last topic is Sefer Hilchot Nachalot is the last topic is Sefer Mishpatim is Hilchot Nachalot, the halachot of Yerusha. Since we dealt, it's a rare opportunity unless you learn about Batra, which of course most people never learn about Batra. So Batra is a perek, Eli, we are on perek Aleph, Hilchot Nachalot, Halakha Zayin. So the sons are the first one, and remember, sons means sons, grandsons, granddaughters, granddaughters, yes? Says the Rambam, כל הקרובים בעבירה יורשים כשרים. A man fathered a child with a married woman. The son is halachically a mamzer, but he's a little son as far as inheritance. כיצד? כגון שהיה לו בן ממזר או אח ממזר. הרי אלו כשאר בנים. It's important to realize. Good morning, Nathan. We're looking at Rambam Hilchot Sefer Mishpatim Hilchot Nachalot. The last topic in Sefer Mishpatim. it's important to realize that Mamzer is a full-fledged child. He has restrictions entering the Jewish community, but as far as his parents, he has a father and he has a mother, yes? He's chayav b'kibud avaim, the same as a regular any person, yes? So the Rambam says, כל הקרובים בעבירה יורשים ככשירים, כיצד כגון שהיה לו בן ממזר או אח ממזר, הרי אלו כשאר בנים, כשאר אחים לנחלה. Theoretically speaking, a man who fathered a child with a Jewish woman out of wedlock is a full-fledged son. As a matter of fact, if he had it before he got married, his son is his bechor, yes?
Is this what?
Bechor.
Yeah, that's why I was here, could they get before Mazen, yes.
Why not?
Well, even if he got it after he married, when he never had a child first, he had the Mamzer first.
Well, he makes it,
Yeah,
no.
as long as he had it.
And if the mamzer is a bechor, is a bechor. But it's important to realize the mamzer, he has restrictions, we can marry, yeah?
But it's a full-fledged Jew, basically, right?
100%. Aval says the Rambam, Beno min hashifcha, if a Jewish man has a child from a non-Jewish woman, או מן הנוכרית, אינו בן לדבר מן הדברים. There is the opposite. He's not considered, let's say, the man who was sold as a Jewish slave. His master assigned him. This is a kosher wedding, so to say. The Torah says it's fine. But the son is not related to him in any way. In any way. Even though the Torah says, Amor Yomar Ha'eved Ahavti et Adoni et Ishti ve'et Banai. Banai is biological children, but as far as
Rabbi Krag,
yes.
we're so used to Western thought, so there's no mention of the wife. So the wife is designated by ketuvah, right? And she doesn't get anything with a. How does it work? Or I'm just confusing today with then.
We just started. Of course, we'll come in. Of course, we'll see in a minute. Was it Mabruk?
Yeah, I had a granddaughter.
Oh,
Too much, but
here, look at the next Perek Aleph. Look at Perek Aleph, Halacha Chet. We're talking about the Chod Yerusha because of yesterday's parasha.
Oh, here we go.
Here you have it. האישה אינה יורשת בעלה כלל. למה פירוש כלל? Of course, when the husband must assign a ketubah to her, the ketubah is a lien on the inheritance. So when we said before that the children are inheriting the father, this is after the mother's ketubah was paid, yes?
Right, so she has the first position. Okay, she's the first lien on the property.
What happened? What happened if she decides to stay, so to say, with the family? She would not collect the ketubah, but the children are obligated to support her as if the husband was alive. See, normally she would get out, but as far as a yoresh, remember, Sem yoresh, she's not a yoresh. So Aisha and I yoreshet.
She only gets to buy the ketubah. Let's assume the ketubah gets $100,000 and the man is worth $10 million. She gets $100,000. That's what she gets.
This is what she gets. Ve'abal, listen to this. But of course, you realize, Larry, the reason we are so used to the Western way of looking on it because the concept of ketubah doesn't exist. If you realize in American law, what do you mean the husband is, the woman is inheriting it? Basically, it means to help her to support herself, yes? In Jewish law, the support is guaranteed by the ketubah, and the rest of the money, you realize sometimes the kids will get nothing. The kids will get nothing.
Oh, if it's good.
Man, as I think Ronnie or somebody said, the man, when they made the ketuvah, he was worth $1 million. And then he made a regular ketuvah. Then he became worth $200 million. So the woman, is there any?
This was Ronnie's question.
That's what I said.
Right. But remember, everyone understands that in every normal family, whatever normal means, yes, the husband should assign more stuff to his wife later. But as far as he didn't do it, whatever is written in the Ketubah is
And
there.
by the way, that's despite a prenup. Let's assume the prenup gives her a lot of money. Halachically, she doesn't get the money other than what's in the ketubah.
Right.
Can you amend the ketuvah after?
In a minute, yeah. In a
Or can
minute.
you give matanot or something? I assume there's a way around it.
Oh,
Halachic
this,
will.
yeah, but this is the point. All the jewelry that she has is her property. The kids have no shaykhut with it. Any gifts.
The gifts that she got.
I mean, this is a. When Moshe Rachman was really his best days, gave his wife, whatever the amount was, a lot of money, this is yours. But she told him it's mine.
Yeah, no
Mine
question.
means she invested. Listen good, our woman saves the family and all the grandchildren forever. Not Hollywood's mine. Anyway, when he went down, she kept the family for years
She had
and
the
years with the
assets.
money that she had, because he never interfered. She told him, mine means, even if you'll be in bad shape, it's mine, yes? Don't take it. She basically kept the dignity and the aristocracy of the house, even in very terrible times. This was a perfect marriage, and he knew exactly how to treat his wife and basically save the family by doing it. But this was a very wise look on the future, because success is a question of time. You put money away and it's not yours. This is the trick.
You can't
This
touch it,
way,
right.
and the wife doesn't like to buy too much jewelry because she had whatever she wanted. Yeah, this was a good example of that. Look further.
Oh, okay. So that's what we learned in yesterday's parsha when they had Shnei Gedei Zim. What Rashi says, the Gedei Zim, she gave Yaakov gave or Yitzchak gave to her separately.
This is exactly what Rashi said. This is exactly what Rashi
Shnei
said.
Gedei, so he gave it in the ketuvah in addition. Okay.
And we never pay attention to these details, but this is exactly, look further. האישה אינה יורשת בעלה כלל, והבעל יורש את כל נכסי אשתו מדברי סופרים. מדרבנן, if she had a rich father, her father died and she's the only daughter, she gets, now, while her husband is alive, the husband is allowed to invest, not what we call stocks. He buys real estate, this, that. If she dies before him, then the husband will inherit his wife. והוא קודם לכל בירושתה, אף על פי שהיא אסורה לו. Whatever if it happens to be a forbidden halachic marriage, it's a Kohen married a divorcee. Nevertheless, this takana of inheritance. Okay, so the Gemara says that, listen carefully what the Gemara said. Very often, the woman inherited a lot, and she went and she sold part of it. The Gemara says it wouldn't help her after she dies, because he is considered like the first customer of the. Now, the Gemara says, for instance, if a second marriage and the woman comes into the marriage with another child, normally it's a daughter, she has the right to put in the ketubah that she wants her husband to obligate himself to support her children. You realize? From previous marriage, this is not his children. Now, Paul Werner's Daf Yomi, the Gemara says, the Gemara says that Chachamim established something very fascinating. Listen carefully. Why should a father-in-law give his daughter a lot of money if potentially nothing is going to be left to her if she dies? So the Gemara says it's called Ketubat Banim Dichri. Ketubat Banim Dichri means that the husband, promises to the woman, children that me and you are going to have, they are going to inherit all the money of the ketubah that belongs to you. This is a big incentive to the father-in-law to give a lot, yes?
When the father-in-law leaves the daughter, or not gives the daughter the money, or leaves the daughter the money while in her lifetime, does she have every right to gift it to her daughters or do whatever she wants without her husband's consent?
The minute he gave it to us as a gift, but this is why the language, the halachic language of, if you gave it to her a gift, it's hers. She can do
It's
whatever.
hers.
Of course.
Even though it's not like money that she acquires in her lifetime belongs to her husband.
It's not profit. It's not profit. It's not profit, yes?
Right.
Profit that she makes goes to her husband, yes?
The peirot goes to her husband.
Oh, it's
So
exactly.
if she gives him $1 million in CDs, he has it, but the interest on that goes to the husband.
Yeah.
So Rabbi Pratt, when Avram gives Keturah's children matanot, is that what he's trying to achieve here? And then additionally,
Right. Basically, what he told them is, I'm dividing what I have while I'm alive. The Gemara says that one of the ways to avoid a lot of problems, or maybe to create 10 times more problems, is while the father is alive, the father can say, I want you. I mean, we spoke about it a few times, Larry. Everyone has the father realizes that this kid needs more than this. So what he does is, when he's alive, he can give already to this kid that needs more. This is yours from now, finished.
Yeah.
you know, it's very funny you picked this today because in yesterday's Times or one of the papers, there was a very big article about whether you discuss these matters with your children or not prior to your dying. So there's less machlokes when you die. So they were talking about it, and who they naturally pick? Warren Buffett. Okay. But today, it's really, he met with all the children and explained the machshava of why he did X, Y, and Z. I don't know how that works by Yiddishkeit, but
We can say a lot,
No,
to them it's
but
nothing.
it makes a difference. But the logic behind it is because the animosity always is you prefer him more than me. I'm not preferring him more than you. He has 4 children. You have 1 child. You are not married. You are not this. You are not. I mean, if they understand that it's not because I prefer you more over others, makes a very big
So
difference.
he gave a lot of millions to his kids, but nothing compared to what his total value is. And he said, I don't want my children to benefit from the accident of birth, he called it.
Okay.
you know how much machlokes is in this world just because of Hilchos Nachalos? I mean, my God Almighty, the whole world stands on this.
Basically, it's because by nature we want more and more, especially if you think that he was preferred over me. This is
And add in a second marriage to make it even tougher.
Oh, forget that. That's another nightmare.
look a second now to something very. I mean, as you go more and more, it's really fascinating. Go now to Perek Bet a second, okay? Remember, this is
Give Nathan this book.
what?
I'll give Nathan this book.
Nathan,
here.
sure?
Yeah.
Nathan likes to learn sometimes too much about Perek.
Same price.
The end of Sefer Mishpatim. Now remember, we know the general rule that the Bechor gets double. First, let's understand what does double mean. So look at the Rambam. HaBechor noter pishnayim b'nichsei aviv.
Yeah.
Okay, this is first the Rambam quotes the pasuk. שנאמר לתת לא pishnayim. Ketzad. The Rambam is giving us a very practical example. It's page 53 if you have this Rambam, David. Look to me, look at the wrong page. You know what I'm saying? שנאמר, כיצד, הניח 5 בנים, a total of 5, one of them is a Bechor.
These are all boys now. We're talking.
So now,
No.
have a second. You look on it as if he has 6 children.
Right.
So the Bechor takes as 2 children, not double than everyone.
Takes 2 6.
He has 5 children, look on it as if he has 6. And give the Bechor for 2 children. So he gets a third.
Right.
Okay? The father has $600,000.
Right.
He has 5 children.
100.
Look what it is if
200.
he has
Almost 200.
6 children. So the Bechor gets 200.
Each
You
one
know,
gets 100.
this is the example the Rambam is giving. כיצד הניח 5 בנים ואחד מהם בכור. הבכור נוטל שליש הממון. וכל אחד מה4 פשוטים, remember the name of the others is פשוטים, נוטל 6. Now listen to many restrictions that people are unaware about the בכור. Look carefully.
These only boys we're talking about now, not daughters.
בכור.
No, the other.
Let's say if he has only daughters. The oldest daughter doesn't get double. They share equally. If he has sons and daughters, the daughters are not getting.
Does that go automatically, Rabbi? Or does he have to insist, put it down?
Which case?
That'd be cool. If he has 5 kids and he doesn't say anything.
Automatically.
Rabbi Prague, what happens if the girl's first and then there's a boy? That boy is the Bechor even though he's second?
Oh, no, good question. Bechor means the first to the father, which means a man marries a woman that had already children in previous marriages. But for him, this is the first marriage. For him, the son is a Bechor. A Pidyon Ben, it wouldn't be a Pidyon Ben. Why?
No, but I'm saying where the father just had a girl, boy.
Yeah. Oh, this is it. Bechor is out of the picture. There are no more
No,
Bechor.
no Bechor. Okay, it's firstborn. Okay, gotcha.
Man marries, he has a wife, he has a before the first
What
son,
a-
then he
what about-
divorces, gets married a second time, he has a child with a new wife also, is it second
Only the
before?
first. No,
On the
no.
first time,
Hear what it says. Only remember,
first
Bechor
son of a man.
Bechor for inheritance is only the first of the
That man,
father. Pidyon Ben is the opposite, the first of the
Oh.
mother.
Oh, interesting.
If a man marries 2 wives, he might have 2 Bechorim for Pidyon Ben, but only 1 Bechor for inheritance. Only 1 Bechor for inheritance. The Nathan, what was your question?
What about if a woman has a miscarriage? Miscarriage and the second.
He's asking a good question. A minute we'll talk about it. He
Meaning
says,
the first, meaning,
The first live birth,
it's a good
I mean,
question.
it's not, why should
So
you?
the answer is the Bechor for inheritance is the first. She might have 2, 3 miscarriages. The one that was born healthy first is the
first
Bechor.
live birth.
Unlike Pidyon Ben, Nathan,
Yeah.
your question is a good
Yes,
question. By Pidyon Ben, it has to do with the first Peter Rechem.
Yeah,
Peter Rechem.
Yeah.
First of the mother, yes. Now listen to this now. בכור שנולד אחר מיתת אביו. He was born after the father died.
Oh.
Listen carefully.
Wow.
אינו נוטל פי2. He doesn't get double. שנאמר,
Yom.
ביום הנחילו את בניו.
on the
ביום.
day, on the
Yes.
day he
Yes,
died, he
you're
was
right.
there that day.
Yes.
So fast, right?
כי אביו, no, but it shows you how we learn text. Every word in the pasuk, ביום הנחילו את בניו, the father has to be alive when, or the child has to
When
be
the
alive.
child-
Who else is inheriting?
Oh, I was waiting for Paul. Here, Paul has a very good
His
question.
brothers.
Whose brothers? He's the Bechor.
From
Good,
another-
good.
the man-
Chaber, he's married to 3 wives, and all of them are pregnant when he died.
All 3 are pregnant.
No, I don't know because otherwise, Paul, no, otherwise Paul is 100% right. Because he's the only child. What's the question? Within a year, he has 4 children. You cannot claim I'm the first one. You're not the first one because when the father died, you were not born. Now you realize the same halacha exactly, similar halacha at least, applies by Chalitza and Yibum, yes? Reuven died without children, okay? Reuven's mother gave birth after this day.
Doesn't
The
count.
wife of Reuven is mutar because this fellow, ki yeshvu,
Oh,
you see, Larry, כי ישבו אחים יחדיו ומת אחד מהם. Only if the two brothers live, sit together. No, but to see every word, we normally hear it בקריאת התורה, but here, שנאמר וילדו לו בנים עד שיהיה בן משעת. Look further what he says. Okay, then the Rambam goes, obviously, halachically, what is considered bone? So he says, as far as the forehead, if his wife was in labor when he died, yes. As far as if the forehead came out, this is fine.
Oh,
Now,
don't we have that with Peretz and don't we have that when someone came out first?
Oh no, but over there, it's a little. Then the face came out. Over there is who. What happened if someone stuck his legs out, then he went back in, and then the other one came? What is considered birth? Birth is the head.
Well, they had that whole thing with the Rashi yesterday, where what came first, like a pebble that goes into a narrow thing. Who was created first or who came out first?
Okay.
But we know from a birth with the rodef. When is there not a rodef, not a rodef? When are they equal? When the head comes out, when the crown of the head.
Yeah. Now look at הלכה ג', this is a חידוש נפלא מאוד מאוד. תשמע מה שהוא אומר. The first baby that was born was a tumtum. We didn't know if he's a male or a female. Listen carefully. A few years later, we operated on him, and now he's a male. Meantime, there are 2 or 3 other children. He claims, I was born first. Okay, my sex was not decided, but says the Rambam, remember everything I said the Rambam is a Gemara, of course. בכור שנקרא in the Gemara, they didn't have operations, ונמצא זכר, אינו נוטל פי שניים. You hear this?
doesn't get it.
But again, you realize it's exactly the same, yes?
Because it wasn't set in place when he was born.
Correct.
He didn't have the status when he was
He
born.
brings a pasuk. Listen a minute. ופשוט, listen to this now, שנקרא ונמצא זכר, now is the opposite. The Bechor is definitely a Bechor. Okay? There is another brother, and the third one, we're not sure if he's a male or a female. Okay?
Does
So
the
now,
third one get a share?
later, the third one was identified as a male. Says the Rambam here, הוא פשוט שנקרא ונמצא זכר, listen now every word in חומש, אינו ממעט בחלק בכורה, שנאמר וילדו לו בנים, עד שיהיה בן בשעת לידה. You know what the Rambam is saying? Listen
Declared a
to
male upon birth.
Rambam is saying, this child that his identity was not clear, of course he's a child. But when we figure out how much money did the father leave, and the Bechor has to get double, this brother, that his identity was not,
Doesn't
it doesn't count to take away from the Bechor, but he does get a regular, you hear one word, v'yaldu lo
He
banim.
would get, let's assume in the same example with the 5 children, he would get the 1/6.
Correct.
This person will get 1/6.
שנאמר, וילדו לו בנים, עד שיהיה בן בשעת לידה. You realize? This pasuk, וילדו לו בנים, is teaching us 2 halachot. A, you are not a bechor unless you are a ben when you are born. B, the other children are not taking away one word, וילדו לו
But
בנים.
you know, Rabbi
I
Prague,
guess,
go ahead, Eli.
so I guess it's the same thing that she was pregnant and she gave birth after he passed away. So when he passed away, she was
That's-
pregnant. Obviously, it was not counted.
For sure, Eli, but Rambam is saying you more than that. The baby was born, but
But
his
he was a tumtum.
identity, the gender has to be identified before.
Right. Okay.
Should be the real model. Without psukim,
never know.
it shows you only how to really learn Chumash
Rabbi
direct.
Prague,
Yeah.
Prague. When I'm thinking about this as we're learning it, the entire book of Breshit is about Nachalot. It's totally, it started off with Cain Behevel. It
Okay.
moves to Avram and Yishmael. It moves to then you have to get my son a wife. Then you have Yitzchak. Then you have everyone. You have it with Yosef. Yosef is a fight with the brothers. Yosef's two children, Menashe and Ephraim. This whole thing, whole Bereshit, and Kilo Yirash Ben Hamazot Im B'ni Yitzchak. It's all about inheritance and what someone gets.
As a matter of fact, what was the argument between Cain and Hevel? It's only
Yeah, stay al Ravim al stay Olamot, where the Beit Hamikdash would be.
five
Right.
five continents. What are you afraid? I mean, the Torah is showing you, we have to be realistic. This is part of being a human being. We like to acquire, we like to possess. It's not only what I like to possess to have more than years.
It's always what it is. Anochi, how did Aseret HaDibrot start? Anochi, I should have. Lo yiyeh, you shouldn't have.
Okay, but
It's a terrible thing. You live in it.
if you look carefully in all the Sfarim of the real Baalei Musar, this is one of the major, mamash major, yes. It's because in every family, and
It's a machla.
if it's planned correctly. When my father, Allah Shalom, died, I told my brother, I am a b'chor. I'm not a b'chor, this is it. Okay, I told him, the extra one will help others that need more than, okay?
At least you should have got some adashim.
Yeah, okay. Look a second, halacha hey.
Unbelievable.
But I'm showing you, by yes, it's okay, father died, there are many fine details. Look in halacha hey. Katan ben yom echad mema'ed bechelek b'chora. Here it is. A kid that is 1 day old. In the example the Rambam gave us before, there are 5 brothers, including the B'chor. Even if the 5th is only 1 day, but he's a kid. Aval lo ha'ubar. If the mother is pregnant, even though it looks like the pregnancy is fine, ubar, of course, when he is going to be born, he would inherit. But eino mema'et, you get this eino mema'et chelek b'chora. When you have to figure out the subtotal money that the father left in order for the b'chor to get as 2, if he is pregnant, he doesn't count. When he is born, he would get.
He with the 5th child, for example, he wouldn't, the b'chor would get 2 times on counted as 5 kids, not
Correct.
6
Give
kids.
you the example of Rani. Good, exactly that. Even though this one will definitely get money at the end, yes.
The 5th one would get his,
Correct.
what's left over, if he got his fair share, he'd get it
Correct.
diminished, and all of them would get diminished.
Now the
Rabbi
Yes.
Prat, David HaMelech. Who was David HaMelech's first child?
his first child was Amnon.
Wait a minute. Is Amnon born before the baby who died with Uriah Hachiti?
Oh, Yofi. Oh, it's a Shalai Famo. No, you hear what he says? Of course you are right. Hear what he says? He says,
but not the extra portion.
David HaMelech took Bathsheba, she's pregnant. The baby is born and died, which means that Amnon, who is the Bechor, is not the Bechor. You're right, it's not a Bechor, because he had a child. Exactly. See, David's question before was, the Gemara says, that even if the mother had few miscarriages, they don't count. Only if he's born and he's healthy. Okay, we'll see in a minute. Listen to the next case. Ben שנסתפק לנו אם הוא בכור או פשוט, כגון שנתערב עם אחר. He got mixed. I mean, let's speak in practical terminology. Yaakov and Esav, okay, we know that they identified right away by the color of them, but let's say Yaakov and Esav are identical twins. But the first twin, let's call him twin A, twin is a Bechor. Then they got mixed up. And we don't know who is who. There are the children also.
What happens?
It's in today's newspaper in the first, it's unbelievable you picked this in the magazine section. I don't read it, but I saw it today. The front page, 2 children who got mixed up. Daf Hayom.
An IVF clinic, they
Wow,
mismatched the
wow.
embryos.
Wow. אינו נוטל פי שניים. Now, see, this is a rule that applies across the Shas. המוציא מחברו עליו הראיה, which means, if I claim that you owe me money,
You have to
I have to prove it. The Bechor claim, I'm the Bechor. Prove it to us because you are going to take away from us. Listen to what the Rambam is telling us now, which what the Gemara says.
Let's see.
כיצד עושים? Listen good to what he says. אם הוכרו ולבסוף נתערפו, if we knew that baby A is the Bechor, B is the second of the twins, listen to this, but then they got mixed up and they're identical twins. כותבים הרשאה זה לזה
Oh,
ונוטלים חלק בכורה עם אחר.
which
Here,
one?
this is a very
Who
practical,
goes their potential share?
which means these two should write each other a paper. If I'm the Bechor, I'm giving it to you and you write it to me. This way, when the father died, they say, well, first we take double. The other brothers cannot claim, hey, I don't know, between the two of us we are. We will take an extra share and they will share it
They will
among
share.
themselves. Yeah? תזכרו, זה נקרא בלשון הגמרא, הרשעה. וכיצד
Otherwise,
עושים?
if they didn't do that, one of them would be stealing from the
Correct,
other.
correct. No, not only they would be stealing,
They're getting money.
they wouldn't let him have double. They would not let
Oh.
him have double. That's zero. אם הוכרו ולסוף נתערבו, כותבים הרשעה זה לזה ונותנים חלק בכורה עם אחר.
So how would you prove a twin set? By a
No,
simple document? Or
No. So the Gemara says normally you should ask a question, who is in charge to identify a Bechor?
the parents, I guess.
Who are
Or
the
the
parents?
doctor, or maybe the doctor.
How do you know? The Gemara says Yakir, the father, or the midwife. The Gemara says in Kiddushin, the midwife that was in the room. Remember, the mother doesn't know exactly.
Right.
The midwife, to a certain point means till the babies leave the room. After they left the room, she's not responsible. Yes? Otherwise, the Gemara says Yakir. What if the father comes in and says, I'm telling you, he's the Bechor. A kid comes from nowhere, he's my son. He just learned. Yes. Okay. ואם לא הוכרו, look further. Only if they were identified. אם לא הוכרו כגון שילדו במחבואה אחת, אין כותבים הרשעה ואין כאן חלק בכורה. Only if one was identified, then they got mixed. Okay, now the Rambam is talking about cases that we discussed, but the Sodot we. Now look a second in Halacha Chet. What I skipped is.
Rabbi Prague, could a Bechor be mevater on his Bechorah?
Yes, I did it. Yes, I said it.
No, you did it, but I'm saying, let's say the older child is exceedingly wealthy. He says, you know what, I'm not interested. Give me my own share. Don't give me. He could then give it away.
But you have to realize every time, if someone owes me money, yes, Paul owes me $100, I can tell him I'm forgiving, right? The inheritance owes the Bechor extra, נכון? When he says, אני מוותר על חלק בכורה means, I'm forgiving the inheritance. We learn it בבת, על תפוסת הבית, yes? מוותר. Now you realize that verbally it's not so simple that you can be מוותר. Normally everything should be done with a kinyan. This is a general question. If I owe Paul money, and Paul says to me, I'm mochel, I trust him, but let's see if he comes a month later, I need the money. תוספות המסתפק, אם there is a מחילה requires a kinyan or yes.
Would a star suffice?
So for sure, even if it's a regular kinyan, any kinyan.
Oh,
same kinyan
Just
you
verbal
do,
with his kinyan.
you do in marriage. Look further now. Look now in הלכה ח' אין הבכור נוטל פי שניים בנכסי האם. children inherit the mother, but the Bechor would not get double. Double is only the property of the father.
Her own assets that she inherited or whatever her own assets were.
Of course, she inherited from her father. From her father, from Kesad. Bechor Pashut Sheyarshu Imam. Two brothers are inheriting the mother. One of them is a Bechor, that perhaps by his father would get double. Ein Cholki B'Shaveh, they have to divide it equally.
Right.
Listen what the Rambam is saying. בין שהיה בכל לנחלה, בין שהיה פטר רחם. Which means, even if the Bechor is a Bechor for Pidyon HaBen, regardless. Mother by mother, there's no double.
Rabbi Prague,
Yes.
how does it work these days where in many instances, for example, my wife works, the money she has that she earns from her work, does that become, I mean, I know everything's Masha is the wife's, is the husband's, but could she keep it separate?
It's a very
Is
good
there a
question.
halachic, is there halachic
But
rules?
an example, I happen to know a case that the wife is an executive. She really makes triple than the husband, but the husband makes nicely. Now, listen good. The Gemara says because the husband is supposed to support his wife, so all the income that she makes goes to him. So this is a normal secretarial job. But the Gemara says if the woman wants to keep her income, she has to tell the husband, Din udvarim, ein li benechasecha ubeperotem. I'm giving up all the rights, all your obligation to support. So in the case, your question, if the woman would say, I mean, the case I know, this is what she did, and she no, but she didn't do it, David, to the spouse.
Ketuvah? Does she relinquish her ketuvah when she?
Cannot touch the ketubah. The ketubah is guaranteed to protect a woman. You realize it's very important. There's nothing you can do. But you see, in the case that I'll give an example. A woman wants to support the tzedakah organization, and the husband is not so much. Okay, she can give a normal donation. She wants to give $50,000. She cannot give. But if she keeps her money in her own bank account because she told her husband, this is her money, this is her money.
I'm not sure I understand. The money that she earns is like perot, not like an inheritance, where it's hers.
The Gemara calls it Maaseh Adeh. Oh, how are you? We're learning about, sit down. Come.
She right there.
This is
So Maaseh Yadeha belongs to the husband.
That means whatever she gains while she's walking. Whatever she gains while she's walking. Every woman that has a job and she gains money, this is the Maaseh Adeh, normally should go straight to the husband's account.
Wow.
In every good family, whatever it means again, you can arrange it correctly. But you of course everyone understands that this is a room for a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. So, Rabbi, one other question. I thought that it does inheritance if there are no children. Does it go sideways to the brother, or I thought it goes up to the father?
Are you asking now
Just under that.
by wife and husband or by children? By
No,
children.
the husband. The husband, there's wife, a husband, and there's no children.
The rule is
So does it go to the father or to the brother?
if he doesn't have a son or a daughter, his father gets everything.
And if his father's not alive,
Oh.
his brother's the next,
If the
right?
father is not alive, the brothers are getting it, but they're really getting it through the father.
Yeah,
Right.
They are inheriting the father in the grave, which means the father gets it. This is a story of Bnot Tzlofchad.
Right. So the bottom line is everything goes up and down.
Up and down, exactly.
So.
But
Okay.
it's not always up and down. By sons is sons. Only daughters and daughters. When it comes, there are no sons, there are no daughters. Right.
In this case, the father's not alive, so they inherit through the father. If one of them is a Bechor of those 4 remaining sons, then it get equal from the father.
No, it comes
That's-
coming from the bottom up.
Yeah.
You listen to an interesting story. A woman in Vienna, I said it once, a woman in Vienna
items that the
didn't
father
have
actually
children
has
for many
account
years.
today.
Her husband was on a business
Not
trip.
later.
Let's say somebody that-
She went to the rabbi and she gave him a lot of money, let's say
It's not in the father's account.
$50,000. He told him, send it to a great rabbi in Yerushalayim. Let him give it for tzedakah and let him pray for us, you should have children. The father, the husband comes from a business trip,
Finds out.
says terrible.
What do you do?
You know why to do it. It's a lot of money. Anyway, they felt very bad. They went to the rabbi and says to the rabbi, what did you do? This is illegal. The rabbi, what should the rabbi say? The rabbi is stuck, it's the rabbi's fault. So the rabbi says, I'll pay you all the money back, but give me time, it's too much money. The husband says, fine. As they talk, the mailman comes back here. You have to know who the rabbi was to understand it. Yeah? This was Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, who was the Ashkenazi chief rabbi of Yerushalayim, Kadosh, Kadosh. And he writes back, since you told me, he says to the rabbi in Vienna, that the woman was there alone, she had no right to do it, so I'm sending you all the money back. I went to the kotel every day to pray for them to have children. The husband felt very bad and of course embarrassed. He said, send the money back. No, but this is a classic example, you know, it's cute. We're talking about legal terminology. No, but you see, Larry, the question you had before was a good question. Someone knocks, David, on your door, your wife, that's it's a legit case. She really wants to write $1,000 check. Normally you give 50, 100, 200. Does she have the right to do it or not? It has to do with it. She has her own income. If the own income goes to her, the check is a check from her money. Otherwise she needs permission. Let's see one more halakha tomorrow. Rosh Chodesh will continue. Look a second. Halakha tet. בכור לנחלה הוא הנולד לאב ראשון. The first to the father. שנאמר כי הוא, הבכור, ראשית עונו. ואין משגיחים עליהם, don't pay attention if she had children before. אפילו ילדה כמה בנים, הואיל וזה ראשון לאביו יורש בשניים. Yes? Now, you had before, later was asking before here the Rambam, your case. What happened if the wife had few miscarriages, but none of them survived? The next healthy one is the Bechor, even though it comes to be, even though, good. That's one more halakha.
Why does he quote this pasuk in Dvarim? Why doesn't he quote the pasuk in Memtet, in Bereshit Memtet, when he said, Bechori ata kochi v'reishit oni?
Good. It's a shalat of us. But your question is a question of the Gemara. Why is the Gemara learning those halachot? Because normally psukim for before Matan Torah are not being, unless they don't reappear again. Many halachot of Brit Milah written in Lech Lecha are not written any other place. This is the only place, yes? Nice. But here you have the dinim of Bechorah here and the Look a second in Yud Aleph. Yotzei Dofen. There was a miscarriage, but he's the Bechor. והבא אחריו שניהם אינם בכורים. We never pay attention. כי תהיינה לאיש שתי נשים וילדו לו בנים. וילדו. This is not ילדו. When the baby is taken by a C-section, הראשון לפי שלא נולד, he was taken out by a C-section. והשני, שהרי קדמו אחר. You see, you could have said, okay, the first one is not. The second one was born as a Bechor. The answer is it has to be a normal birth, and the first one. But we'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Chodesh Tov to everyone.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Old Rabbi Prague.
Yeah, no, I'm tired. I'm tired. Believe me.
You're trying to be a good patient.
Yeah, but it's over, what? So last week I was very dried out.